Hello YouTube, my name is Justin and today I will be showing you how to assemble the Woodward Fab tubing bender, WFB2. See, these instructions kind of suck, and I built this, I took it apart, I built it again, I took it apart, and now I feel like I'm an expert. So I want to share with you. I'm a YouTube expert, right? So I unpackaged everything, and this is all the contents it has. Bars, the bolts, the pins, you know, the degree wheel. This is your handle. This is the ratcheting part, so you could bend the tube out. The first thing you want to start with is you want to locate this piece. This is the base of it. And now I'm going to assemble it on my Woodward Fab stand. I bought this. This actually came in later than the whole unit, so I wound up building the unit first and then taking it apart, and then now I want to build it again for this video. But you can see I drilled into the concrete using a 1/2-inch bit, and I just stuck in some 1/2-inch wedge bolts by 3 inches, cranked them down, and I mean, it ain't going anywhere. It's not a really hard task to do either. So if you're scared about drilling into concrete, or you don't know where to mount this thing because well, you don't have one of these, I suggest you get the stand. I got this whole bundle for a steal off of Zoro.com. I got it for I think $560 with the stand. So I'm more than happy, because on Woodward's I have trouble saying that word, on their website they wanted like $850 for it. So no. The tools you will need are 1/2-inch drive ratchet, 3/4-inch wrench, 13mm wrench, and a 1 1/16 inch wrench, 18mm socket, and a 1 1/16 socket, plastic mallet just in case, and screwdriver and needle nose pliers for the cotter pins. You'll see what those are for later. So let's begin. We got our little base on top of there. We want to now stick this on there like so. This is, these 2 holes in the back match up with that. Oh boy. These bolts are going to go through here. Wait. No. I messed up. This is your base. You're going to want to put your base on there like that. Put a screw in there just to keep it steady. You'll see, you might get these brass pins inserted in already. You might get them out. It doesn't matter. That's why I have the mallet here for. You just want to hammer and flush. And these are going to sit, and these are actually going to hold in the arms that swing out with the die like this. So this is going to be stationary, and this is going to actually swing out, but I'll get to that later. These are sleeves, the bolt sleeves. They go around these big bolts like so. So they're actually going to sit here on that. This piece is going to come up here, and then the bolt is going to come through the bottom or the top. So let's do that right now. Alright. Now locate your washer and your corresponding nut for the bolt, and just put them on there. Just thread it on by hand. Nah, I mean. Okay. Now that's in, but you can see I made a mistake. I put it. I'm not very good at this whole talking while I build things. Quite frankly, I'm used to being alone, not with eyes watching over me like you are now. Excuse me. with that in place, take this bolt out. And now, this goes in here like so. But before that happens, this piece where your actual handle will mount to goes on through here. And on the bottom of that, you'll find this little ring with an Allen key, like a set screw in it. So you could adjust and hold the height of the handle. See? So with that said, let's take your last bolt, stick it through there. Get your nut and washer. Now in the instruction manual, it says to build it like this first, like this whole unit, and then mount it onto here, which I didn't find to be very easy. And this thing is a friggin' heavy piece. You know, look at the size of the steel. It's like what, 3/4 inch thick steel. I mean, this is a very well built unit. So don't tighten anything down yet. What we're going to do now is actually make these a little bit looser, so we could have some end play in here, so we could squeeze the bars that we need to in here. So that said, we're going to take this, take your brass, I think this is brass piece, lay it in there like so. They're going to squeeze in between these two plates. Right? It's going to sit like that. No, I might get lucky. All right, so its self-weight is just going to keep it in place. The end, these two holes are where these two bolts go. So, undo the bolts. Now be careful, because when you raise this up, you're going to make it fall, so you have to hold it still. Rest it on its spacer. Insert the spacer down here. And then again, just put the washers at the bottom. I mean, you know, you could put the nuts and whatnot facing up, but that's just not a clean look. It's not very professional either. Okay, that's all set. Now, this won't go anywhere. See, because, I mean, it still kind of will, but just pretend it doesn't. Hee hee. Alright. Now you have 4 pins. I found use for 3 of them. You'll see that later. Inside here, inside the handle part, you'll see another hole. See? Hole. That is where this goes. And this. Now, I already went ahead before I started the video and put 1 cotter pin in to the top of this cylindrical piece. You have 2 cotter pins, 1 for the top, 1 for the bottom. It's going to sit in there like so, and this is what's actually going to give you the ratcheting action to help you bend whatever you're bending. So I ordered mine with the 1-inch square tubing die, because I plan on bending a Jeep rack. So you see I have that square stock sitting there. Put that in. Just place the cotter pin in there. Actually, you know what? It might be easier if you put this one in through the top. And put the cotter pin in there so we have easier access to it later. And we don't forget about it, which I have a tendency to do sometimes. Okay, now tighten it up. Okay, so start with these bolts first. Actually, you know what? Let's start with the little bolts first. It's going to be, you're going to need your 3/4 inch wrench. You're going to need a 3/4 inch wrench, an 18mm socket. You just want to get it snug. No, it's okay that it falls. It's okay that it doesn't want to stay. Just get everything snug. See, because after it does, it'll hold itself in place. You can see I'm bundled up here. I got my whole one piece on. I got gloves on. It's 30 degrees here in New Jersey, and windy. Wind is the worst. So with that said, socket aside, take your 1 1/16 socket, 1 1/16 wrench, or if you're using an adjustable wrench, 2 adjustable wrenches, tighten these down next, but actually hold it to the base. Again, I'm just getting these snug. I'm not really cranking on them yet. Just want to make sure they stay in place. So now, let's see what we can do next. You have your die. You have your follower die. And that's actually gonna guide it. That's gonna sit in here. This piece, I'll show you what all that's for after I complete the assembly. Next, you want to take your degree wheel. This is going to mount under using these 2 1/2-inch head bolts. Just thread those in. Piece goes under, and use a 1/2-inch wrench, use a 13mm, it's all the same. Kinda. Not really. Alright. Those hand threaded. You could tighten these down. Now, if you have a die in your hand, this is the time to mount it. Take your big pin. You see there's small, 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 big, very big. This is designed for the diameter of this. So you put your die in here, like so, and you want to make sure this part is sticking out here. You don't want to make it this, mounting it like this, incorrect. You'll see why. So take that, drop your pin through the whole thing, and this is why I tell you not to crank these things down or not to tighten them fully yet, because you want to be able to drop this pin in. So I should have listened to my own advice. I actually tightened them too much. Okay. Alright. That's in. Now, as this works, it's going to take this and just turn it like that, and there's going to be a pin, you'll see, that drops in there to secure it. Okay, now take this die, and you'll get these from Woodward Fab, like I got this, and you're going to see that this roll pin that inserts right next to the hole, the pinhole, it comes not installed into the block. So what you have to do is don't go ahead and just install it. What you want to do is measure next to your die right here. don't know if you can see this. And you want to make sure this die and your follower die are even. You want to make sure they're square with one another. Which these are pretty square, so I'm happy with that. Look at that. So with that said, big pin goes through tall hole. See, actually they're not square. Even though I just adjusted them the other day, they're still low, like by a lot. So I'll adjust that after the video. But yeah, just take your time hammering this in. Make sure you got the right height set for it. Next, you're going to want to take your last two pins. One of them is designed to go through here, this taller one, or the second smallest one. It's going to go through here. So as this is being bent, you're going to start here, drop it through that hole, which would be the first hole in the die closest to this end. And with this pin, you want to take this little bracket. Now, yours is going to be round if you're using a square round die. Like I said, this is square. And it's going to go through that little hole. And see, as you work your way around, as the square tube comes in, this is actually going to hold it so it stays with this die. Because if you just have this off to the side, the square is just going to stay here, the tube, and it's not going to really bend. There's nothing that's going to hold it to bend and make it forced to stay with this die. So that's what this is for. And then you screw in your clamping screw, and that'll keep it square with this. And that's really it. So you put your die there. In fact, let me show you. So now imagine this square tube now would be coming out here. And now once you reach the end, say we're all the way at the end and we can't go anymore, right? But you're only at a little bit less than 90 degrees. What do? You take your pin out from the die and you turn it. Bring it back in. And now you have your curve still here. But now you could create the final 120 degrees that this die is supposed to go out to. Okay? So, I hope I was clear with everything, and I hope you have no questions. If you do, I don't know what to tell you. Lastly, with the install is your degree finder, degree pointer. That threads into the end of your rounded die. And this is arbitrary, you know, if you want 90 degrees, so you put it at, you start at 150, right? You don't have to, but 90 plus 150 is 240. So when you reach 240, you know it's 90 degrees. If you wanted 30 degrees, you could start anywhere. You could start at 0, you could start at 30. If we started at 0, see if it, it's good to know. If we started at 30, we started at 0, 30 degrees. If we started at 20 and we wanted to go 30 degrees, go to 50, 30 degrees. So that's it. Now, you just don't forget about your cotter pin. Bend this little guy back. You don't have to go crazy with it. It's not like a wheel bearing or anything. It's not really going anywhere. And then tighten up your remaining bolts. Okay, and that is how you assemble the Woodward Fab WFB2. Thank you for watching.